Hi, this is Pastor Stephen Browers from Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and coming with a daily devotion. This comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 18. It's a little story. Let's see. It says, I'm just going to start at verse 1. When he had finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. On the other side, there was an olive grove, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place, because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the grove, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and Pharisees. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "I am he," Jesus said. And Judas, the traitor, was standing there with them. When Jesus said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. That's how far I wanted to go. Now, I remember hearing about this the first time in seminary during a class by a guy named Craig Kester about the Gospel of John. And he explained that this detachment of soldiers would have been like 100, like a ton of soldiers, a bunch of them. I can't remember the exact number, but a bunch of them. All right, a bunch of soldiers were there. Like, I feel like it might have even been 500. I mean, it was just an insane amount of soldiers were there in the garden to get Jesus. And Judas was with them. And so they come to get Jesus in this garden. There's a ton of soldiers. Because it would have been a particular word that would have signified detachment, and that's how you'd know how many people were there. In any case, that's not even the most interesting thing. So Jesus says, "Who are you looking for?" "Jesus of Nazareth." And he says, "I am he." Now the term, the ego eimi, is how it's said in Greek, "I am." And that kind of refers to all of Jesus's I am statements, like, "I am the gate. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am that I am." Remember where you would have heard that one from the Old Testament when Moses asked God, what name should I tell them? Who's calling me to let my people go? Let your people go. It says, "Tell them I am sent you. I am that I am." So when Jesus is using those I am statements, he's saying, like, I'm God. It's kind of a big deal. I am the same as God. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the vine. Here he just says, "I am he." I am. And when he says, "I am," notice what it says happened. When Jesus said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Who drew back and fell to the ground? This detachment of soldiers. He just says, "I am." Boom. They're all on the ground. I had never before noticed that. And I want to share that with you because think of what this means. Because eventually Jesus allows himself to be taken by this detachment of soldiers to be crucified. But right off the bat, like, he has the power to stop it. I mean, it would look like they obviously have the numbers to take him. They've got the weapons to take him. And Jesus says, "I'm he." Boom, they're all on the ground. He's actually the one with the power. He's the one with the power he would defeat them all. But he chooses to allow himself to be taken. Why does this matter? In your life, in my life, there are always times where we feel so overwhelmed. When we look at what's coming and we think, there's no way I can face this enemy. It's too powerful. It's too big. There are too many things going on. Impossible to fight. I can't do it by myself. Well, you're right. You can't do it by yourself. But God, with God on your side, with Jesus in your heart, with him as your shield and your sword, with him beside you, it doesn't matter how many soldiers there are. It doesn't matter how big the problem seems. It doesn't matter how overwhelmed you feel. You've got the power because you've got Jesus with you. And that's what, from Philippians when it says, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength." That's why. This is an example of this. With Jesus as your strength, It doesn't matter if there's a detachment of soldiers coming to get you. He can knock them all down just by saying, I'm he. I am, right? Because he's God. So there's no problem too big for God to handle. So I would encourage you, whatever problem you might be dealing with right now, whether it's the virus or probably something else that's bothering you right now, whether it's a money issue, a health issue, a family issue, whatever it is, whatever that problem is, remember that if Jesus is on your side, he's got the power. He's in control. And that should give you a lot of courage to be able to face that problem, knowing that he's already won the victory. He has the power to defeat any enemy on your behalf. So I just wanted to share that with you. I hope that gives you a little encouragement to face the week ahead. I just want to encourage you that this week is Holy Week, so we won't have a Wednesday night service, but at 7 o'clock on Maundy Thursday, we'll have a service. 7 o'clock on Good Friday, we'll have a service, and then on Facebook Live, and then so off of our Facebook page. And then on Sunday morning, for Easter, we have our 8:30 contemporary and 10:30 traditional services. I hope that you'll come and watch. And thanks so much for watching these videos. Please share, subscribe, and like, and leave a comment if you'd like. God bless you.